on the Western Pizza guest hotline, Rich Sutter, who is in town for Hockey Helps the Homeless. Rich, thanks for doing this today.
Thanks for having me. I'm loving your colors you got on there.
Yeah, well, I was in Yorkton yesterday. Terriers Flin Flon, Game 3 of the SJHL Finals. So got to represent the SJHL. Great hockey, of fast, back and forth, tough, hard, kind of like back in the day when you used to play, which we'll get to in a bit. But first off, let's talk about Hockey Helps the Homeless. I've heard about it going around the country. How do we explain this to the people?
You know, this is the event that I have been on board with for a while, and Canada Life is the big people behind it out of Eastern Canada. But I think this is a wonderful event. To be able to come and help, especially in the inaugural event here in Regina, I think is very, very important. Met the small group of guys that came up to Saskatoon last year. It was a great visit. Really hoping they could get it off the ground this year. To come and be a part of it. Like a lot of the other events in the country of this same. With the Hockey Helps Homeless, it'll be a little smaller this year, but the biggest thing is it's going to be awesome. It's so important that people get on board to help with this. I mean, we see this strife of hockey with the homeless right across our countries, right across our country and our cities. I live in Lethbridge, and it's actually quite atrocious, to be quite frank with you about it. A lot of these people, look, it's self-induced, but a lot of it is not, especially with the way the world is today. And I think it's very, very important that people get involved and support it. I love the idea of doing it through hockey teams and how we go about raising the money through the groups of the teams that play in the tournament. But I think it's even more important that the athletes, the ex-pro athletes, get on board and support it.
So there's a draft.
And I think that's yes, it's a draft. So what it is, So what it is the teams will get together and they have to raise a certain amount of funds.
Okay.
There obviously are sponsors in the area, other than Canada Life. And then a bunch of the hockey players come into town, and it's either, it can be guys from the States, guys from Canada, the women's hockey team, Canada, and we have just get together and have dinner tonight and have a fun time at Canadian Brew House over in Gordon, and the teams draft. So whoever raises the most amount of money, you fall into that draft order, and it's a fun time. I mean, and for some guys, it's awesome because some guys have never been drafted in the first round before. And so it kind of makes we have fun with it, right? But the biggest thing is for me personally, it's about the people.
Yeah.
Absolutely coming in here and meeting people. And I just want to very personally say that how happy I am to be here for the first one. And hopefully we can just get it going in the right direction where we can really make it a really large and successful event for years moving forward.
So, are you coaching, or who else is in town? Guys that maybe weren't taken first overall.
We are playing.
You're playing.
100%.
Oh wow.
100% we're playing.
So you just skate? So you still skate quite a bit?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I think, other than dealing with a rib cage thing, that I'm still going to play through that. This stuff I'm doing, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, look, I had a good buddy, Reed Peterson, pick my brother Ryan and I up today, and he's excited about coming and watch. I said, Reed, slow down. It's not like we're playing at a high pace out here, but the biggest thing is we love playing.
Oh, that's cool.
It's the time spent in the locker room with the guys, telling stories, and for me, it's also about networking. It's about meeting more people in the world and getting to know the younger people, especially. But have fun doing it and raising for the right cause.
Jeez, I love it. The draft is tonight. It's going down the Carmichael Outreach Center here in Regina, going down this weekend. Rich, let's get into some hockey stuff here if I can ask you. One thing I wanted to ask you, twin brother Ron, right? And I think we had you on the Monday Nooner podcast as well a little while ago. And
yes.
It's funny because I'm covering the Western Hockey League this year in Medicine Hat, and they played the Pats in the first round, and they got these Ruck twins. And I'm talking to Les Lazaruk and some of the old play-by-play guys and going, you ever heard of two twins in the Western Hockey League that have tore it up that even remotely? And everyone's like, no. And then I'm like, Rich and Ron with Lethbridge, but now, so it's, how many years later, and we're seeing it again. You're in Lethbridge, you would know what's going on with these twin brothers in Medicine Hat.
Yeah, I'm actually excited. Going to go back down and watch them play Tuesday and Wednesday, games 3 and 4 against the Raiders. So, they're two very skilled, talented kids. Probably have erased, I think, a lot of the scouts and people's thoughts about where they would go this year in terms of how they kind of popped. And they've taken their games to a whole different level on a very good organization and a well-coached team by Willie Desjardins. And they'll have their hands full against the Raiders. The Raiders have got a great team as well, but these twins are special players. Projected to be, want them to be a first-round pick, and a possible early second. But there's talk about, maybe them being drafted together, like the one can't play well with the other. Much like what everyone said about Ronnie and I.
Yeah.
But I really think that you will see a team try and make a move to pick one and to move up in the draft.
Because your brother, you went to Philly, he went, or was it one to Pittsburgh or Philly, and then you guys ended up.
Ronnie went fourth to Philly. I went 10th to Pittsburgh.
But then you get to Philly quickly thereafter. How did that happen?
Well, it was really weird. It was the first year of when the NHL amateur draft really became a public forum, in a sense where it was in a big group setting, and that first year was in the Montreal Forum, and Ronnie went fourth, I went 10th, and as soon as I was picked, each team was calling each other, going, "Okay, let's make a deal," and eventually it happened. We were still 17 at the time, and by the time we fully turned pro full time at 19, it was at the back end of training camp when I was flipped to Philadelphia.
Oh, that's how it went down. Okay, very interesting. Are you still doing the agent thing at all, scouting?
No. Honestly, my career, I helped out a little bit with some of the groups. When I retired from playing, I'd retired from a broken back. But mainly the last 25 years in 3 different organizations and hockey operations. And I took a 9-year-old granddaughter that said, "Papa, it's time to come home and see us." So I've been home this year and sneaking away to play hooky, to do all this other stuff with the homeless the last 2 years, like I said. Yes, I would love to go back for sure. I just feel like with my experience, I've still got something to give to an organization. I love working with younger people. I love listening, and the way today's game is going, I still think there's a need for guys like us to come and help organizations.
And I'm sure you get to a lot of, or you watch the Hurricanes closely as well, the dub in general. What's your take on
Yes.
now we're into year 2 of the WHL NCAA, where kids are starting to go. What's your take on that? I'm curious.
That's a great question. With Brother Brent and his wife Connie owning the Rebels and Red Deer, there's been a lot of questions that have gone still unanswered with the agreement with the NCAA. I think it's going to take another year or 2 to work this stuff out, because with how the NCAA has gone from a money standpoint with their athletes, it's simply getting out of hand. And when you look at the numbers that are being thrown around already for a handful of Western League guys, particularly that are ready to be drafted and and have that next year, it's really hard for these Western League teams, especially teams like Everett, Red Deer. I mean, let's just name two or three that are successful franchises that are. I mean, how do you expect owners to throw around that kind of money? I mean, so how do you call this an agreement? It's not an agreement. I don't think it's just going to simply that's going to be effective and work well for the Canadian Hockey League.
Yeah, the Swift Currents, the Brandons.
Exactly. Those are the teams that that we really care about too, and need to be concerned about, and we care about our product in the Western Prairies and the small towns or smaller cities, and we have to find a way to help keep it there.
I want to close on this. I want to get your take. What do you like the current structure and how they do the NHL playoffs? We're maybe seeing, this Dallas, Minnesota coming in hot and heavy. We're seeing Pittsburgh and Philly, but or do you prefer it maybe the way it was back in the day, the Patrick, the Adams, and all that, or do you like how they're doing it now?
I think there's a real strong argument for both, and I would argue for both. You see where it is today, and you think, well, okay, it's fine. The way that some of the playoff matchups are working out already early in their series, but I know for a fact that when we played, it doesn't matter who you played. Like, the concern always is now the fallback excuse is, well, we need the rivalries. Well, guess what? If you care enough about winning in the springtime, you'll have a rivalry whoever you are playing by game one. And so that's where I still would love the old one play 16, two play 17 and down, but it is what it is. I would hope that they would still strongly consider doing something down the road. I think we're getting to a point now where we talk about each of the last few years. It's kind of ironic talking with some of my brothers the other day was that, well, 2 years ago, the playoffs were incredible. Last year, the playoffs were incredible. This year, with the new teams making it, that have been out for a while making it, the playoffs are even better. You look at the parity. You almost wish that we could find a way to probably include at least 2 or 3 more playoff teams, because there's really, really good teams not making the playoffs.
Yeah. And next year, you look at the East next year. I was listening to a show and then going through it, and I'm like, it's gonna be hard to make it this year. How are like these Detroits and the Islanders gonna get in next year? It's and the parity's there. It'll be very interesting. All right. Well, sounds like a really cool event. Hockey helps the homeless. Get out there, up and down your wing. Right, 200-foot game out there.
Well, thank you very much. I hope people come out and support it. Look, this is for a great cause, and we need to do these things to help these people that are struggling.
Right on. Thanks, Rich. Thanks for being in town. Have a good time.
You bet. Okay, thank you very much.